Breaking news, the FDA approves Novo Nordisk Ozempic to treat chronic kidney disease, an expanding role for GLP-1 medications that we're going to talk about on today's episode for sleep apnea, heart disease, now chronic kidney disease, in addition to diabetes and weight management. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 103 pounds the last 2+ years, going from morbidly obese now to just 27 pounds away from my goal weight of being like a healthy weight. And I literally got this news story. I'm in my walking clothes right now. I smell like I've been in my walking clothes too, but I wanted to break this story for you guys about what does this mean for you and why this is made because of your health insurance. And so I'm going to get to we're going to get to all of that. But first, as always, I will cite my sources down in the description link below. Being factually accurate very much matters to me. So check all the links. And I also have a ton of free resources on countessofshopping.com, like my free injection tracker, my free group, encouragement group. Let's dive in. So the breaking news is the Food and Drug Administration approved Novo Nordisk's Ozempic for patients with both chronic kidney disease and diabetes. So chronic kidney disease and diabetes, expanding the use of the wildly popular injection. CNBC, by the way, is the source that I'm reading this from. The FDA's decision means Ozempic can be used to reduce risk of kidney disease worsening, kidney failure, and death from cardiovascular disease in patients with chronic kidney disease and diabetes. The decision could transform how doctors treat patients with this condition and involves a gradual loss of kidney function as one of the leading causes of death in the US. So the story is going to go on and talk about the approval part of this with type 2 diabetes with Ozempic. Now, Ozempic is for type 2 diabetes. Wegovy, they're both semaglutide. Wegovy is for weight management, for chronic weight management. And so the drug is widely used to cover type 2 diabetes for Ozempic. And it's now being used to reduce the risk of kidney disease with both, but having both on that. And so this really matters. And the other functions that are the other diseases that I talked about earlier, like sleep apnea and heart disease, for your insurance. Diabetes is a risk factor for kidney disease. Did you know that roughly 40% of type 2 diabetic patients have this condition? And it causes additional sickness, such increased risk of cardiovascular problems and death, said Novo Nordisk, the manufacturer of Ozempic and Wegovy. All chronic kidney disease is progressive. It's a year-on-year relentless decline of renal functions, Novo Nordisk Global Chief Medical Officer said. And it's the kidney's ability to filter waste from the blood. You guys know I'm not medical at all. This is simply my experience, strength, and hope of the lifestyle management of GLP-1 medication. But I love talking about these because so many people are getting dropped from their insurance company right now. And so when I see these FDA approvals for different things, like on December 20th, 2024, I talked about the FDA approved Zepbound for sleep apnea. On March 4th, 2024, the FDA approved Wegovy for heart disease. Having those conditions is going to help you potentially get insurance coverage. And insurance companies know this. I'm doing a whole episode. I'm researching it now. It's going to be one of my bigger episodes because I've done a ton of research on it about why insurance companies keep rejecting PAs, prior authorizations, to be able to get on these medications. What was the whole thing? Was it depose, deny, and I forget what the third D was, but for major insurance companies of just keep pushing us off to not get coverage, so we pay out of pocket or don't have the medications. And so having these other FDA approvals like sleep apnea, maybe your insurance company, for example, with the FDA approving Zepbound, and Zepbound and Mounjaro are Tirzepatide. They're slightly higher data than semaglutide. So semaglutide, Tirzepatide. So semaglutide, Wegovy, and Ozempic. And then Tirzepatide is Mounjaro for type 2 diabetics and Zepbound for chronic obesity management or weight management. So Zepbound is now FDA approved for sleep apnea. Maybe your insurance company does not cover Zepbound for the weight management component of it, but maybe it would for the sleep apnea. So maybe you need to go get a sleep study, right? Like for some of these things, heart disease, FDA approved Wegovy for heart disease. So maybe you need to go to a cardiovascular or talk to your primary, like again, I'm not medical at all, but this is what I would do if my insurance company, and my insurance company doesn't cover the medication. I pay out of pocket for my Zepbound. So 100% understand, and I've done PAs, and I work with Join Fridays, use the discount code QUEEN. They're my favorite telehealth company because they do compounds and brand names, and they have a whole concierge department that will fight for these PAs. But heart disease is it's so like, that going that route may be easier for you to get approval for Wegovy if you have that with your medical conditions, medical histories, or proving that you have heart disease for Wegovy, or for Zepbound with sleep apnea. And so having a sleep study for sleep apnea to go along that vein or that thread. So going back over to the major breaking news part about the Ozempic is severe kidney disease. If they're not covering it for type 2 diabetes, but you have kidney disease, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is stacking the case for other things for insurance to approve these medications. Also, for Medicare, there's so many people in my free encouragement group who are on Medicare, but also have coverage. I don't quite understand that because it's against the rules with Medicare for obesity management of it. There was a law that was put after like the whole fen and like the heart disease thing that they had back, what was that, in the 90s? So a law was enacted. And so lobbyists are aggressively trying to change that law, by the way, for Medicare, Medicaid. So having these other pieces, maybe that is the thread for opening up, and if it's not currently open, but in the future, for Medicare and Medicaid, some of these other things of where you just flat out cannot have insurance coverage with it. Patients who took Ozempic, kidney function declined more slowly. The risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack dropped by 18%, and the risk of death from any cause fell 20% with placebo. So friends, back 2 years ago when people told me I had two heads, and now there's concrete data. Now Ozempic is slightly less data than Mounjaro or Zepbound. Those are Tirzepatide. But Ozempic, so this could be more for, I'm making the correlation, this article is not, and there's not scientific data that I'm reading from that is correlating this, but because Tirzepatide is higher than semaglutide, maybe that is higher than that, but it's saying in here, the risk of death from any cause with taking Ozempic and Wegovy, they're the same thing, so if you say Ozempic, it's Wegovy, fell 20% compared with the placebo. 20%, like, if you told me 2+ years ago that my risk of death would fall by 20% by taking this medication, like, let me close my jaw. That's fantastic news. Woo! Which is why I keep telling you guys I'm completely, the accountant and I are completely revamping our retirement plan. Because I've said all along, I'm like, I'm going to live a lot longer. I'm gonna need some more money in our investments. Like, our investments are, if I'm living longer, I mean, a drop by 20% concrete in here. Ozempic also cut the risk of cardiovascular related deaths by 29%. 29%. Like, this is blowing my mind. This is amazing, particularly if you have a family, your family origin has heart disease. Check that box, honey, on both sides. Like, so cardiovascular disease and chronic kidney disease just go hand in hand. And the major treatment patients receive when they have the earliest signs of chronic kidney disease aim to reduce cardiovascular risk by paying attention to blood pressure. And many, many people, if you are getting dizzy on Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, if you're getting dizzy with that, that is a and again, I'm not medical, but it's to me a red flag to go talk to your healthcare provider. If you're getting dizzy, that may correlate to blood pressure. If you're on blood pressure medication, or if your blood pressure is dipping, that may make you dizzy, or higher, maybe. Again, I'm not medical, but not most. I have known so many people whose blood pressure medications have either decreased or gone off completely as a result of GLP-1 medication. EU regulators, so our European friends, approved Ozempic for the same use in December. Novo Nordisk ended the phase 3 trial in October, a year earlier than expected, in response to positive results. At the time, the Danish company Novo Nordisk announced it caused shares of kidney dialysis companies to plummet by 20% in a single day. You know somebody who's been on dialysis? I do. Dialysis is awful. And so the fact with kidney disease, like, this is such major news. In the trial called FLOW, F-L-O-W, it started in 2019 and followed 3,500 patients with diabetes and moderate to severe chronic kidney disease. From my point of view as a doctor, this was the medical director talking, that they co-segregate the clusters within the same individual. So if you have a medicine that can target each one of these comorbidities with just one injection, so it's one injection, then you are addressing what really matters to the patient. The approval comes after the Biden administration selected 3 of Novo Nordisk drugs with the active ingredient semaglutide for the second cycle of Medicare drug price negotiation. This includes Ozempic, its weight loss counterpart Wegovy, and another diabetes treatment called, I always butcher this, Rybelsus. It's the Rybelsus, Rybelsus. Forgive me for butchering that. The FDA's decision comes after Novo Nordisk faces increased competition from Eli Lilly and tries to win expanded insurance coverage for Wegovy. Wegovy won approval for its use of slashing the risk of major cardiovascular events, including heart attacks and strokes. Novo Nordisk is also studying Wegovy as a potential treatment for fatty liver disease. So add that to your pipe and smoke it. No, don't smoke anything. I was joking. That was I was watching an old Disney movie and they said that in the movie. I'm like, what are we doing? It's like, was it 101 Dalmatians? Or it was like one of those older type movies. I'm like, what is going on here? But adding fatty liver disease may be on the docket there too of having that approval with it. So this is major. Now, someone told me this, and I always say I want to share and always be an accurate source of information and never misinformation. I wish to always be factually accurate and clarify when something's factually accurate or my opinion. So this next statement someone told me, I trust the source, but I have not verified the source. So take this information for what it's worth. But somebody who's reputable, who I know, who's in a specific industry, said, each time they get these FDA approvals, however, it changes the patent date. So it pushes the patent date even further back. So it's interesting, we're hitting Wegovy, that's going to push the patent date back for the heart disease part. Ozempic, for chronic kidney disease, it is also pushing the patent date, but it goes hand in hand with type 2 diabetes, which makes sense. Same thing with Zepbound for sleep apnea. It pushes, from my understanding, again, I trust but verify. I don't have a concrete source to cite my source on that. So please do further research is needed on that statement. But my understanding of it is that with the sleep apnea component from December 20th, 2024, the sleep apnea, that pushes it back to for Zepbound for the patent. Because you and I, we have dialogue continuously here at Countess of Shopping about generic drugs and things like that. Eventually that's going to be coming, but if the patent dates keep getting pushed back, you see, that is going to affect the generic drug components. And why would not Eli Lilly do that and Novo Nordisk, right? Great news in all these things is we've got so many options coming in the pipeline. This is why this year and next year are huge for GLP-1 patients. If you are frustrated because your insurance company has denied you, what is it? Denied, depose, and what's the other one? I forget what the other one was. But if your insurance company is putting you off for this, this is why this information is so important. Perhaps you have sleep apnea. Go get a sleep test, and maybe you can get on Zepbound that way and go through your insurance company that way. Do you have heart disease? Maybe having heart tests, heart tests. Again, I don't know what those are called, but having those with your doctor or talking to at least having the conversation with your doctor about that of what the next step, because then maybe getting Wegovy because of the FDA approval for heart disease is your next step. Now, walking through all of these things, it's so fast. Like I feel like every day with GLP-1 medication, things continuously change, but it's also so slow moving. For example, I have one of the best insurance companies for now in the world, or not in the world, not in the world, in the United States, I should say. Let me backpedal. In the United States. But it does not cover easily GLP-1 medication, which blows my mind. And I kept waiting in 2024. I'm like, surely it will be on the 2025 formulary back in like October, November, December. My husband and I were almost banking on it. Again, because our finances, we have revamped our finances because of GLP-1 medication. I pay out of pocket for it. We've changed our whole retirement planning because of it, like investment strategies and things like that, because I'm gonna live longer. I thought I was gonna die earlier. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, we gotta revamp some of our retirement plans. And so with all of this, with your insurance company, if it's not having coverage, I want you to do, this is where it gets, the rubber meets the road. You're going to have to do work on it. And that's the biggest piece that my my piece will be coming out about insurance companies with denials and prior authorizations is they're banking on you won't do the footwork. You will not do the PA, you will not push the papers, you will not read the fine print, you will not do the calls, you'll not do the emails, you will not fill out the paperwork on the website, or you'll fill it out incorrectly. Like some of the PAs just get rejected, a chunk of them, there's this big chunk just because it's a clerical error on our part as patients or our doctor's fault. Not our fault. That came out wrong. Not doctor's faults, but a clerical fault, a clerical component that was misfilled out, perhaps by our healthcare provider or by us, more than likely by us. I wasn't trying to say that anything disparagingly at all about healthcare providers, because I absolutely love them and I admire them and I think that they're amazing. But for us as busy human beings, because if you're watching this, you're probably similar to me, because like attract likes and the cream rises to the top, is that you probably have a very active and rigorous schedule like I do. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I literally came in, I did not have time to put on my hair and makeup because I was working out. And that is very important to me to get my walk in. I got 2 miles in today, woohoo! And I wanted to have a healthy, high protein breakfast because I was getting hungry. I have my shot later today and I'm trying to, like, you know what I mean? I'm taking care of my health first. All of that to say, my schedule is enriched and yours is too. And the insurance companies are banking on that because we won't do the legwork. And I'm here to tell you, if you do want coverage of this, the insurance companies are counting on you not doing the legwork. So do the legwork, do the paperwork, find out the rules. And that's where it's very confusing. In my free encouragement group, it has thousands of people. I love it so much. I'm very behind on it. Please give me grace. Particularly, I live in Virginia. If you know what's happening right now in the federal government in Virginia, DC, and Maryland, you will give me extra grace, please, with the free Facebook group. This week, I will get caught up. I promise next week, I promise to get caught up on it. But the point that I'm trying to make is people in the group ask about insurance companies. They're like, oh, Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's like 10 gazillion different subsidiaries of that are going to have different rules. You have to go within your own portal for your insurance company for these approval. And this is somewhat off topic, but it's so important. If you're trying to get approval for these things for heart disease, sleep apnea, or now with the chronic kidney disease, you've got to go into your own portal with your own insurance company. Either get on the phone, get on the chat, like the customer service chat, email, website, portal, whatever, and get the fine print. And then you're going to have to read the fine print and comprehend the fine print. Insurance companies know that more than 30% of people don't have basic reading comprehension skills. They know that. They know that. Or God forbid you have like dyslexia or something like that, and reading these things in the way that they're written, and having dyslexia in my family is very, very hard to read. Stuff like that, insurance companies know that. And so I'm telling you all of this to hype your Patootsky up. If you've not gotten insurance approval for this, you've got other outlets now. I'm passionate about this topic. It burns my grits because their insurance companies are banking on us not doing the legwork. So I'm here to tell you, if you have sleep apnea, heart disease, and now adding to my list with chronic kidney disease, with diabetes, you got to have the diabetes on there for Ozempic, start doing the legwork. Please, please, if you knew that this would prevent perhaps your death, I mean, it's prevention of death by 20% from the study for Ozempic. If you knew that it could prevent your death or early death for you, for your family, or for your kids, or your grandkids, or your spouse, or your partner, would you not just flip and do the legwork on the fine print? Would you not? Like, go read the paperwork. And I'm saying this for you just as much as I'm saying it for myself. I'm also saying this to hype me up because I'm getting ready to go battle all this on my own for insurance company stuff, like insurance company stuff. They know that we have enriched lives and we don't want to push the paper. And how many times do you have to push the paper? Someone in my group had gotten 3 rejections. And if this is you, I love you so much. I love you so much. Tell me in the comments if it's you. They had done a PA, rejected, third PA, approved. 3 PAs. Do you know how much paperwork that person had to push to keep going to get this approval? And now they pay $25 for their prescription. Versus, for example, I am in one of the OG ones. If you're a newer one, it's $650 a month. If you're OG on the Zepbound savings card, it's $550 a month. So what's $550, just ballpark times 12, $6,600. Like, that's crazy. If you're new and you're on the newer savings card, that's $7,800 a year versus $25 a year, which is $300, right? That's a lot. If you do the power of compounding interest on there and you invest that in the S&P 500, or other investments with a return rate, like this is where I'm like, oh my gosh, like push the paperwork. It's your part-time job to push that paperwork. And now that we have all these other FDA approvals, quite frankly, there's not an excuse. Obviously, if you don't have these diseases, obviously, like, of course. But if you do have sleep issues, talk about to your doctor about getting a sleep study for sleep apnea, right? Like, and it's really cool on my Google Pixel. You guys know I don't really like it as much because I have to charge it every day versus my Oura Ring. My Oura Ring is down on my Amazon shopping list. I can see it does talk in here if you have potential for sleep apnea or like lapses in your breathing while you're sleeping. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. I don't like it though because you have to charge it every day. It's so annoying. The Oura Ring I charge once a week. Okay, so I'm pumped about this. And I was motivated for the insurance component. Again, I'm going to do a whole separate. So that's why you want to click like and subscribe, because I'm going to do a whole separate episode all about that. But I did want to share this information with you because this is major. And if you've got somebody who's got kidney disease, share this video with them. If you've got somebody who's got sleep apnea, share this video with them. Heart disease, share this video with them. Share this video with your bestie. It blows my mind how many of you guys share these videos. So thank you. I appreciate you so much. So one of the highest compliments are like referrals or like telling like people about this channel. Literally, we just hit 100,000 subscribers. We meaning like you guys are all my friends, and I don't like using the word subscribers, so it's 100,000 friends because you're sharing it with your friends. So thank you. That's always like the biggest compliment. Number two, today was the launch of, let me see actually if it, hold on. I have another breaking news tip. Let me look real fast. It was a big Amazon sale just started. And so I want to see if I don't want to get in trouble for saying if I'm not supposed to. There was a big sale starting today, and I'm hopefully not going to get myself in trouble for saying it early. Okay, so there is the big sale started today for Bioptimizers. It's on Amazon with Mushroom Breakthrough. It's the collagen I use in my coffee. 25 calories. It's got bovine collagen, marine collagen, and protein. For one scoop, it's just 25 calories. It's amazing. On Amazon, normally I recommend getting all of your supplements off of vendors that I recommend directly on their websites because I negotiate discount prices. So the discount code QUEEN you can get on Bioptimizer's website. But right now, there is a sale running on Amazon directly for this. So I'll link that down in the description link below. Click the more button and you can see that sale. You can see all of my links. If you're like, oh, I want your Zepbound recommended travel container because I'm traveling and I don't know what to use for Mounjaro or Zepbound or Wegovy or Ozempic, hello, I've already done all the testing for you. Those products are linked down below. I am called Countess of Shopping for a reason. Someone got so frothy with me yesterday. They're like, you recommend products. I'm like, was it not clear that my name is Countess of Shopping? My original job, like she's like, you're so QVC. I'm like, thank you. Yes, I am. I have been on QVC. Yes, I am a QVC approved live streamer. Like, yes, actually I am. So thank you. That's a compliment. I'm not schlepping products because I want to. It's because I love them and I'm sharing with my besties like I would with my real life bestie. I would be like, oh my God, girl, did you see this product? That's the same thing I'm doing here. So anyways, that's not me hawking. That's me sharing things that I love. And out of integrity, because I am a woman of integrity, I would never share something unless I believed in it. Okay. Oh, the other thing I'm obsessed with, speaking of things I'm obsessed with, and then I'll wrap this up, is I just got a huge, and I'm filming this later today too, after I take my shower, because I stink so badly. I'm like, oh my God, I can tell I was sweating. My big Clean Simple Eats, I love fruity proteins. And I have been making protein oatmeal. Many of you asked, like, what's the recipe? I'll type it up on countessofshopping.com, I promise. But it's basically a half a cup of old-fashioned oats, a half a cup of high protein milk, mix it together, microwave it for like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. And then I let that sit for a little bit. And then I put on a tablespoon of pecans chopped, a teaspoon of chia seeds, and that's for texture. You don't have to do that. I just do that for texture. But this is the big kahuna. Adding in Clean Simple Eats maple donut protein, or, excuse me, their strawberry cheesecake protein. It takes me out. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, I had to share that. And then they do have it's eggnog, but that was seasonal. That's also really, really good too. And I'll mix it together with my oatmeal. Don't do it before, because I did it before and it came out like cake batter. It was gross. After you've microwaved your oats, then mix it in and then add in, a cup of fruit, a cup and a half of fruit, 2 cups of fruit. I add in 2 cups, honey. I live my best life with my fruit in there. It's so good. I'm so full, so full. And I had that, I don't know, 2 hours ago. It was really good. Was it 2 hours ago? Some time ago, an hour ago, whatever. I'm really, really full and I won't be eating now for several hours. So anyways, I wanted to share that. Clean Simple Eats, use the discount code QUEEN on their website. They're the ones that have the clear protein. You guys always ask me about clear protein. I'm like, it's Clean Simple Eats. They have them in the cans or the powder. It tastes delicious. Snap in a Z formation. I'll link everything down below. Be kind to yourself. Oh, wait, no, wait, hold on. Our question of the day, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? And your emoji of the day today is, I had a whole list of emojis of the day and I left it in my office. And now I'm like, what was my emoji of the day gonna be? It was going to be a butterfly, because we're gonna, in the words of Mariah Carey, spread your wings and prepare to fly. You will become a butterfly. Don't ever ask me to sing karaoke. I'm horrible. I'm good at many things. Singing is not one of them. Okay, loves, let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings, because life is delicious. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to share this video. Love you.